Three pains.
I'm Bob.
Hello, live. We have 2 out of 3 faints. We only have 1 life left.
Which means Ash is gonna die in like 30 seconds.
Don't you say that.
That is the most optimal scenario.
That's the most optimal. What? I hope it's not the most optimal. What the fuck?
Why is he aggro to me? Go away!
Oh, no, we got it.
Oh, you got his pinky toes? Let's go.
Oh, what the heck? Left and left.
That's because your artwork yesterday was of chocolate elf waifu.
It got me again.
Thank God I wasn't.
Bob, why'd you have to say that?
Because I'm an agent of chaos.
Great places.
He is.
では前に出ます。
Hello, chat. Oh, shit. Okay, give me 1 more minute. I gotta switch over the capture card. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. Get this plugged in. Hope all of chat is having a good day. Just waiting on it to come back up. Have a talk, Cad's breaking up with us? No. Never, chat. Okay, I think it's all working. I just posted the go live tweet, by the way, chat. Do me the favor, go give that some love. Grab you guys today's sauce. Also, if you guys are a lurker, do me a favor. Message in chat. Because supposedly Twitch has made it where lurkers do not show up as viewers anymore. So I think if you just do it like one time a stream even, it's enough. What? Why? Yeah. That's Twitch for you. Apparently everyone's viewership is way down because of that change, and it's just like actually dumb of Twitch at this point. Yeah, it's like I may put in like alert command or something for you guys that you don't feel obligated to like actually talk in chat for those of you guys that like to lurk, but instead you can, you know, just do that and then it'll count as a chat message for y'all. That's dumb, it is. I don't know why. But it is the thing. Okay, I got today's sauce. Let's go ahead and get live. And apparently I still have the black box on. Hello, everyone. Let me turn that off. I do have to switch out, because that's actually Friday's sauce. Let me switch it real fast for you. If my Artoria folder will load, because it's so gigantic. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Here is today's artwork. Leave my people alone, Twitch, let us lurkers lurk, right? Like, and it's fine. I totally understand. I like having people in chat that talk to me and stuff, and I hope that I never like make you guys feel like you can't. Even when I get like in a spirited debate with somebody, I usually am not gonna get like insulting towards them or anything like that. I'm a big proponent of like it sort of takes all ideas type deal. So it's like I don't really get upset when people disagree with me. I may in the heat of the moment get a little like hot under the collar and stuff, but it's like usually I forget stuff like that very fast. It doesn't bother me as long as people are not getting like actually insulting in any way. But yeah, where were we? Okay, so I do still have one storm pod. Again, chat, I did give you guys the link. Go give the artist some love. On the realm of Twitch making that change, again, I don't really know why. Twitch has had for a decade now been on like this crusade against lurkers. And what do I mean by this? I mean like they legitimately just want no amount of like falsification of viewership numbers because it is essential to the way their platform is run. If they don't have authentic numbers, they will end up giving the wrong people partner. If they don't have authentic numbers, they will end up telling their advertisers the wrong thing. But I'm going to be honest with you guys here, and I'm going to say this. I don't think it actually hurts Twitch to have more partners. I don't think it actually hurts Twitch to have their advertisers thinking that they're a bigger platform. I think this decision is stupid, and I don't really understand why they do it. But I saw some other streamers talking about it because I heard this is a change that they made, like, I want to say like a month ago, and it's definitely been impacting everyone's viewership. I don't really get it. Like I said, I understand that they're trying to get down to like people's true numbers, but I feel like what they should actually be trying to do is getting rid of like view botting and stuff, which the change that they made here was to punish lurkers, which makes zero sense because you can actually make view botted bots apparently like message like when they first come into chat and stuff. So it's like, ironically enough, their change to try to catch view botters is only hurting actual lurkers. It's not hurting the bots. And I'm like, that's so dumb, dude. Like, that's such an ass backwards way of detecting it, rather than just actually looking at like artificial like connections to streams and stuff like that, which is the way that they should be doing it. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't believe that Twitch streams should be allowed to be embedded. Period. Like, that is the crux of a lot of the issues. It's like that's where a lot of the view botting comes from, is you have people kind of falsifying their views by uploading their stream onto a site that is like always on and playing, so therefore everybody on the site counts as a view. And it's like they're naturally not. They're not actually paying any sort of attention to the stream, and they're not actually watching anything. But Twitch sure thinks they are, and so they won't really crack down on that. And instead they try to make it look like they're cracking down by doing other dumb stuff. Oh, did I leveled up? No. That was my last storm pod too. Never forget Fextra. Yeah, Fextra Life was a really, really bad person for that stuff. How often does someone like me help the channel? Because I don't comment often. If you comment even once a stream, that helps that you are a viewer. Like that's why I was saying. So for anyone that's coming now after the fact, apparently like lurkers don't count towards view totals anymore, and that's why like everybody's noticing views are down. So like quite literally, I've noticed my views tanking, and I'm not sure that it's not like the FGO directory dying or that change. I couldn't tell you, right? I get that it's like there's not a whole lot going on in FGO right now, but like, you know, we've had like new stuff come out on JP and everything, and views have kind of stayed low. So I suspect it is the Twitch change. But that's what I was saying. So if you're somebody that likes to lurk, I have no problem with that. Feel free to continue to do so. I think all I will ask from now on is lurkers, if you come in, maybe just like say hi or something, or like just put any sort of message in chat, and then go back to lurking. It doesn't really bother me if you guys lurk. I've always understood that, and I always appreciate that people come and hang out and stream and choose to support me. But apparently Twitch doesn't like it, and therefore if you don't ever message in chat, they assume you're a bot, and they basically just don't count towards the view numbers. It is actually dumb, right? Like, I think like people should be able to watch in the way that they're comfortable with. Some people like to engage actively in content, other people don't. They like to consume it passively, and that's fine. So it's like, it's really weird that Twitch is basically saying like, oh yeah, but if you're the latter type, like, you don't count. I'm like, that's so dumb, dude. Like, you can't make me talk, cat. Oh wait, yes. Wait, if I only message and stream now and then, does that make me a cyborg? Maybe. Yes. But only if part of you is actually, like, metallic. Does this apply to lurkers who are subbed? Yes. Like, apparently Twitch just views people that don't ever message in chat as bots. And that's so dumb. Like I said, I don't really know why that's a thing. Viewership numbers already go up and down whether or not like someone's watching you, and you'll also have fluctuations. I think like whenever like ads occur, I've noticed that as well. Like if they're watching an ad, they don't count as a viewer on your stream. How do I know this? Because I can almost tell when my ads occur by like watching the stream numbers dip by like 30 to 50 people and then go back up. It's not like the people left the stream. It's Twitch isn't counting them towards the view total, which is, I can't describe to you how fucked that actually is. That they're basically saying, oh, you're watching an ad, which helps the streamer and Twitch. We're not going to count you as a view. Like, what? So you're saying you're implementing a lurker tax? Not really, right? Like, if you guys choose to sub to me or anything like that, that's fine. I'm just asking, if you guys want to help me out, just like, put a message in chat when you first come into stream, then go right back to lurking. It's fine. One, it actually, if anything, it gives you some visibility. Like I then know who my lurkers are, right? Because to a degree, some of you guys, I might never talk with you guys. Like I've seen already several of you guys. It's your first message in chat, so hello. But yeah, it's like that sort of stuff I think just happens over time, and I've been used to it for a while now, and I normally don't do something like this. I normally don't ask the lurkers to come out of lurk mode, but apparently we kind of need that to happen for Twitch to stop being dumb. I say that. I don't know when Twitch will actually make the change, but I have seen a lot of streamers complaining about it, so I hope that they revert that back, or at least do something where, like, the lurkers maybe don't count towards it. So, it is what it is. Alright, from now on, you always get a CAD scream. Okay. Did somebody say social engagement? Yes, thank you for the 76, Maester. Appreciate it, my man. How often should we comment? Like once every 30 minutes? I think you just have to message once a stream. I'll do more digging on that. I don't actually know off the top of my head, but that's what I have heard, is that like people just have to actually like have chatted once, and then they don't get flagged as a bot for that stream. And I'm like, that's so stupid, but okay. I've noticed that in other streams as well. I think it's just across the board. Like, this is not unique to me. It's not unique to the directory. It's not unique to anybody on Twitch. It's apparently all of us this is happening. Because I saw a clip earlier of a girl who was talking about this stuff. And she was like, okay, can I get my lurkers to say something? And her viewership went up by 25%. And she was like, this is ridiculous. This shouldn't be a thing. And part of the reason it shouldn't be, I'm just going to be honest with you. I think a lot of streamers would tell you not to pay attention to view counts and not to tie your mental state to it. But that's an easy thing to say, and it's kind of one of those things where it's like naturally you look at view numbers. You look at view numbers because it's feedback as to how you're doing, right? So to me, it's like, okay, sure, we still need to put our best foot forward and do the best we possibly can on stream. But also, when you start noticing numbers dipping and they just keep going down and down and down, you feel like you're in a spiral, and it just feels really depressing. Like you're sitting there and you're wondering, what can I do? What can I try to do to get the viewership back? And realistically on Twitch, you can't. Twitch is an end platform. It's not a beginning platform in terms of exposure. So if you want to drive viewership on Twitch, you have to drive it in other places usually. Now, there's something to be said about making a good impression for people that are coming into the stream and stuff, but usually once you lose a viewer, you lose a viewer. Do emotes count? I believe so. Like I said, I don't think it matters what the message is. If you guys just want to put a period in chat and go back into lurk, I don't care. It's fine. Whatever you guys are comfortable with. I'm usually here. I just don't message much. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. like I said, I don't begrudge anybody for lurking. I understand why people do it, and I'm just appreciative that people actually take the time out of their day to come to the stream still, even if they lurk. So I'm the bone of my lurk, yes. Dad, you have AP rotting. I'm sorry, you're right, I do. I need servants, I need divine servants, and heaven attribute. Those are... Chat, do we have a sky female divine servant out there that I can farm? I was gonna say, like, maybe Kets would count for that. I don't know. Valks? Yeah. I'm just trying to think, like, is there a node that I can grab here? Like, in Ordeal Call? Cad, do you still play Pal World? I have not played in a hot second. I do know that Prophet like has the capability of running a server for us, though. Sorry, I'm just looking to see, is there an actual node out here? Caster. That's Gilda Ray? Writer. I don't... Then Ling? That's still not female, then. I'm looking for the intersection of all three, because that'll just make farming it easy. Still a dude. Oh, not you. Maybe LB7? Just call on me, and I'll send it along with love from me to you. Talk? Yeah, we're gonna talk. I got some stuff to talk with you guys about. Really wish they wouldn't display it as shadow servants, because I'm trying to like figure out who this is. What are you looking for? Somebody who is sky attribute and divine and female. That should be Tenochtitlan, right? Well, love from me to you. Right. My scuffed Korean account has cleared LB7 OC1. God, I forgot how slow the raids went using Servant and Peace for the first time. Oh, yeah. Like, I am so happy that when we went through, like, Temple of Time, that, like, you have all, like, the like, speed ups and stuff and, like, the ability to skip things, because holy crap, dude, it would have taken so much longer. Yeah, this is Tenochtitlan. This is the reigning city here. Which she should be Sky. Chat would have to tell me if I'm wrong there. She might be like Earth or something, but she's not Sky? Damn. Damn. What about the Valkyries in LB2? I mean, possibly, but I'm trying to look in like LB7 or Ordeal Call, because those are the only mats I actually need. So it's like, if I'm gonna farm, I may as well find a confluence of all the things that I need. Is there dark skin Erish Kagol in the free quest version? I mean, there's the costume for it, if that's what you're asking. I believe you were also asking earlier, Power, how I'm doing in Ghost. I have progressed on the side in Ghost. I will say this. Ghost is as fun as the first game so far in terms of the gameplay. The story is absolutely not as good as the first game. If the first game story is a 10 out of 10, the story so far is like at best a 5 out of 10. So people that are like overly glazing the game and saying like it should be game of the year, no. No. No, I think there's a good 3 or 4 games better than it this year. So it's like, I'm not going to say it's a bad game. I do think because it is PlayStation exclusive that you guys should probably consider that, because it'll probably eventually come to PC, as the first one did. And you should also probably consider the fact that, like, right now it is really expensive. I don't know that it's worth the price. Like, I'll see, but there's definitely a lot of content here. But to me, it may be worth maybe a little bit less. Is it still worth the $70? For me right now, no. Why do they still do exclusives? So, do you want the answer you want to hear, or do you want the actual answer? Because the actual answer is that exclusives drive console sales. 100%. So it's like, they get people in their ecosystem, they get people buying their game. That's why they do it. Why don't we like exclusives? Because it forces us onto a platform that we don't want. That's why the consumer doesn't like it. The consumer wants choice. The consumer wants things to be on different platforms, and they then have a choice as to which one they want to put it on. Whereas the company wants to make something exclusive to force you to buy their product. So that's why. Because, like, you got to think about it this way too, chat. What if Ghost of Yotai was on Xbox, for instance, or Nintendo? If it were on either of those and it sold a copy on that end, that is less money that Sony gets. Because where is all the money made in the console department? It's not actually made off the console itself. Okay? It is instead made off of the licensing. Oh, God, my mouse disappeared there. The licensing of actual games. So they don't care necessarily how many consoles they sell. They care how many games they sell. And naturally, if your product is available on a different console, a different ecosystem, and you purchase it, they don't get that cut. So therefore, they really want all of that. Now I'm 100% skipping that. I'll say this. I was watching a bunch of stuff on the whole EA acquisition EA privatization / acquisition by the Saudis, right? As well as like other people and interests, but like basically there's a lot of concern over like what the Saudis are going to do to video games made by EA. While I definitely understand that it might not be a good thing in the end, I don't think it's going to be any worse, because I think most of EA's games are already going down the shitter. So it was interesting to me, though, because I watched it, and in the process, I got to see a montage, like a 5-minute montage of the actual lines from Veilguard, and it convinced me to never buy the game. It was as bad as everybody has claimed. Some of the worst written dialogue I have ever seen in a video game. Cringe. And frankly, like, really forced, like, bullshit, like, social messaging. So I saw that and I went like, I went from, hey, I'll pick this game up eventually on a super sale to I no longer have an interest in ever buying this game. I was like, that's impressive that you can convince me with that. To be fair, by the time it gets to PC, they've usually ironed out the kinks in a game. Kind of. So, like, yes, while that can be true, then you can have the problem of a game is a port. And then if a game is a port, it may live or die by the implementation of that port. So we've seen plenty of bad ports over the years. The good news is usually I'd say most ports nowadays have not been. I think you have like 70% odds of PC ports being good, as opposed to before you had like 25% odds for a while there. And it's like, oh crap. I got it for free from PS Plus monthly. I never played it and uninstalled it because it seemed boring and terrible. Yeah, I mean, I can weather some of the like the social commentary and stuff like that in the actual game. But it was like so over the top and unavoidable that it was convincing me not to do it. That being said, the reason I originally did not purchase Dragon Age 4 chat. It looked like the most just absolutely like hack and slash action oriented slop that I had seen in the series ever. It's certainly not the most mundane hack and slash I've ever seen, but it is easily the worst combat I had seen out of the series to date. And so because of that, I was like, I'm not getting it. I'm not going to pay full price for it, certainly. Like, I'll just, through that, I'll wait till it's cheap, right? I certainly had concerns over other things, but it's like, even with Ghost of Yotai, it's like, had the Ghost of Yotai devs not, like, stuck their foot in their mouth, I probably would have gotten it. Because they stuck their foot in their mouth, not once, not twice, but thrice, I said, no, I'm good. I'm like, I'm not going to get this. And then the only reason we are still playing it is because they gave me the key. But I was like, I wasn't going to give them any money for that. Sora, they give me the 20. And Hernandez, they give me the 7. Appreciate it, my man. I would say it's 60% bad, 40% good for PC releases. Yeah, I mean, whatever you think, right? Like, but the idea there is that, like, I'd say PC ports have gotten better over time. We are getting to a point where they are becoming relatively stable, as opposed to like in the past. Oh man, oh god, no. And part of me is like, I don't know if that's actually like maybe the upside of something like every dev being on Unreal 5, where because of that, porting things over has become more stable and known how to be handled. That may be one of the better reasons to have people on a same engine. But it could also just be that devs have started really putting in a lot of effort to it because they know that it will live and die by it. And they really like, I think it is that, because I think these publishers, these developers, they really want that PC market. I think they see just how much there is. Like, chat, to put this into perspective, right? I think like you'll see like, oh man, Call of Duty will set a record and it'll sell 100 million copies. And then you'll see the console gamers being like, yo, look how big we are. Look how good we are. Same thing with like FIFA or any other sport game, right? That is such a drop in the bucket to the billions of PC gamers. Yes, I just said billions. That's why I think they really want that PC market so bad. Obviously, you're not going to get every PC gamer. Yeah, how would I define it, right? Like, so some of them are going to be casual, some of them are like in the same way that like a society has a whole bunch of demographics in it, PC gamers are functionally the same deal, where it's like there is any make and creed of person within PC gaming. So it like you're never going to like be able to appeal to all of them, but access to it is very lucrative and people really want it. That's actually why for a while there you saw there were so many like developers and publishers that were just actually butthurt about Steam. Why? Because they were jealous. They wanted everything that Steam had and they were willing to destroy Steam to get it. They knew that Steam was like the only thing standing in the way of their like scummy practices and also just the biggest payday they had ever seen. So they really wanted to get rid of Steam and they really tried for years and they have largely failed. Honestly, I think the biggest hit to Steam in recent memory is the whole payment processor issue. And I expect that Steam is going to do something to counteract that fairly soon here. So like, I think like, that sort of thing is just par for the course. It's just scummy developers and publishers being scummy. Which there's been a lot of discourse over Xbox of late too about like, oh man, what are they doing? Why is Xbox suddenly evil? And I'm like, oh, first time? You guys are just now realizing this? They've been evil. People just believe the sweet lies of like what's his face, their spokesperson dude. I don't know why I can't think of his name all of a sudden, but like Phil, yeah, it's Phil something, Phil Spencer, thank you. Yeah, yeah, they just kind of believe the lies of Phil Spencer, and I'm gonna say like I think even Phil Spencer didn't believe they were lies. I think he was saying it with his chest because he actually believed it. And I think what you're seeing nowadays is that this is exactly what was always lurking behind them. You are seeing Microsoft and its cold, calculating decisions, and it's just always been that way. Game Pass as well as Nintendo. Yeah, Nintendo is very much the same degree. I think a lot of people have had their eye-opening moment on Nintendo now, where part of the issue is basically that it is that like Nintendo has had good people propping it up for a long time. Those good people have retired, and now all that's left is the like corporate ass bags that are just trying to like milk us. And we'll see, right? Like I'm disapproving of like the way they handled the Switch 2 and its games and the pricing on that. But at least in Nintendo's case, they have the capacity to fix that. I also think if Nintendo stops its like blatant patent abuse and like attempts to try and kill off Pal World, that people will just largely go back to believing that Nintendo is the greatest thing ever. Like, I think you can say that like none of these are so far, with maybe an exception being of like EA. EA is, again, I once heard it referred to as the evil army because that is what like people actually perceived EA as. EA was in the early 2000s just the scum of the earth like publisher, and everybody knew it, and it became synonymous with that. So seeing EA go private, I think it can only help it at this point. I don't think it can hurt it. Like, at worst, you're going to get the exact same that you've been getting, which is just slop. So hopefully they turn things around and they actually convince themselves that it can be done. What's your opinions on the pre-release banners? Sorry, for what? For the Ptolemy event? FGO. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So for Ptolemy, let me go look at what they are. I actually don't know off the top of my head. I feel like I went over this in the video just the other day, and I've just already forgotten it because it was not important news. The face of Xbox, Phil. Yeah, Phil is definitely the face of Xbox, but I think we all now see it for what it is. It's that he is like a figurehead. He has no actual power. Okay, so you got Reigns and a Feistion. A second Behime is part of the pilgrimage. Oh no, sorry, that's all Pilgrimage Festival. So there is no pre-banner up yet. Look at the game news, yeah. Oh, it's gonna. I was waiting on the capture card to fix it. So Lartoria, Shisho, and Playing Dark. So Shisho is still a fantastic single target Lancer. In a weird way, chat, I think she is still my preferred single target Lancer. There's a lot of stuff about like Enkidu and everything like that, and I'm not going to argue that Enkidu isn't strong. Enkidu in the right hands is absolutely fantastic. The thing I like about Shisho is Shisho still has some survivability, and Shisho just guaranteed stuns everything unless it is stun immune. Shisho also has death proc. She just hits hard. She has good niches. Her only concern has ever been her card performance. So she is just still just one of, to me, the best single target Lancers. So that's been the one that, like, if you ask me, like, hey, what single target Lancer should you get? Usually I would tell people her. I do think there's some claim to fame for other options, like, say, Melisson, or even, like, some of your welfares. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's like if you want a really good, strong, hard-hitting single target 5-star, Shisho is somebody that can just, like, out of the gate, just do it. And that's one of the reasons that I've always liked her. Laratoria? You guys know the drill. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but let's take a second and let's check my waifu bias at the door. Let's look at Lartoria's performance currently. She is serviceable, but she is low damage compared to some of the other options. That being said, you do know that in less than 2 years, this unit is going to skyrocket. In fact, she already, I'd say, like, you're about a little bit more than a year out from that unit already just becoming competitive with the best Lancers in the game. Then the waiver buff makes her the best AoE Lancer in the game. So at that point, I'd say that's up to you, right? Like, I think a lot of you guys have Mel. You don't necessarily, like, need her at this point. But if you don't, I think it's a really good pickup. I think knowing the way things are going to unfold in the next 2 years helps that immensely. You know where she is headed, and so that makes her somebody that you know is going to get better. Her stock is going to skyrocket in that regard. She has Invuln Pierce. She has Cleanse that everyone forgets about. So I have always felt like Lartoria is a very underrated unit by people, but at the end of the day, like I said, it's totally up to you as to whether or not you need another option there if you're somebody that already has one, right? And then you have Koyan Sky of Dark. I'll be honest, Koyan Sky of Dark stock is way down. She is still very usable, very useful. But those uses are niche. And admittedly, she took a lot of hits from things like buffs to Merlin and the additions of other 30% charging Buster units. That is not good. I'm of the opinion that Coin of Dark could use a like utility upgrade. She needs a better niche than she currently has. Because to me, the only real way that she stands out from Merlin is that she has an offensive NP where he doesn't. Otherwise, if you ask me, I'm probably taking Merlin to the fight instead. So that is not a good spot to be in. When the challenge unit, the sustain support is the better take most of the time. So that's where it's like, yeah, I'd like to see her her support capability improved, but we'll see. As of right now, she has not gotten that. So you know you're at least 2 years away from that. She's not a bad pickup, especially if you're just looking to kind of round out your roster and get another like useful support. But yeah, I'd say like the stock for her is a little bit down. She's kind of in the realm of like, to me, like a Tamamo or a Nero Bride now, where she is a very good pickup, but she is the epitome of a unit you don't have to have. It's just like, hey, it's nice to have this unit, but if you don't have the unit, it's not the end of the world. There's also the fact that Cuckoo out DPSs her anyways. No, I mean, I see a lot of people harp on that, and I know exactly why, but I'm here to tell you guys that shit does not matter in the slightest. Okay? Like, everybody wants to, like, stat stick measure her to Kukulkan. She never was supposed to be competitive with Kukulkan, and I don't know why people keep trying to do so. Merlin getting 30% charge is a crazy good buff. Like I said, I was of the opinion that Merlin did not need a buff at all. When they gave him that, I was like, well, that was dumb of them, because I knew immediately the impact it was going to have, and it did. I still currently use Merlin in nodes for that exact reason. So a luxury, yes. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Like, again, it makes it sound like Korean Sky of Dark is not a good unit. She is. Just if you're sitting there and you're like, you're really hard up for quartz, like, where do I spin this? It is a tough recommend if there are other like units that are more lucrative to you hanging around. So, but do I think that's a bad thing? No. So it's like, there's your 3. Is there any more beyond this, chat? Or is it just these 3? The wait for Seal is long and hard, and so am I. No, I mean, what? Yeah, I think, like, honest to God, I think her second and third skill are just very, very niche applications. They are not bad skills, but they are rarely going to, like, come into use, especially the third skill. I think the second skill, if you're somebody that works off of overcharge, that skill's still useful. But like, for instance, the comparison to like as an overcharge support, she is beaten now by waiver. That's not good, because waiver is 50%. She is 30%. So who am I going to go with? I'm going to go with waiver. The only way would be if another unit needed 30% as well, then technically she would be able to give more. So, but yeah, I think, like, no matter how you look at it, basically the waiver and the Merlin buff both kind of power crept her support capability. And so they probably need to do something about it, especially because, as I've indicated numerous times, Merlin will never not be meta. Never, chat. In the same way that like Proto Merlin is here to stay, Merlin has always been there for Buster. Always. He has always been the de facto Buster challenge and sustain support. And he is not going anywhere. So they could have not buffed Merlin and he would have still been perfectly fine. I mean, say if you have Merlin Cuckoo, she's not too relevant to you in a general sense. Yeah, I mean, in that regard, you're not wrong, right? And I guess like the only reason that I point this out is because like everybody seems to bring up Cuckoo whenever we talk Dark, and I'm like, it's almost tiresome because it's like they are not really comparable units. I'm sure some people wish that, but to me, I've always viewed Korean Sky of Dark as a support. And I want to be clear on this too, chat. This is how I've always conducted myself. It is not unique to Korean Sky of Dark. if a unit is a support, I'm going to call them that. If a unit is not, I'm not going to call them that. Because I've seen people try to make like weird claims like, oh, Alexander is a like quick support. And I'm like, no, he's not. You can keep deluding yourself, but he's not. So part of the reason for that is because I always look at the crux of what is the intention of the unit. Why did the devs design them in that way? And that's like one of the reasons why. So as a result, it's like I will always view a unit as its intent, and I will only adjust that intent if the devs basically indicate otherwise. Are you not banned off Twitch yet? Really pushing QS right here? Really? This one's tame. Yeah, I see people make that claim too, JC, and I almost never see anybody ever use Cuckoo's like targetable charge on anybody else other than Cuckoo. And it's pretty obvious as to the reason why. Why would you use the 50% charge on someone else? Cuckoo's probably the higher damage dealer. Cuckoo is one of the top AoE damage dealers in the game. So it's like, I don't really, I hear that argument. I don't really see it actually being practical. How has Summer Tiamat been 3 months after use? She elevated Quick as everyone was wanting. She's definitely allowing Quick to do more things. She is not the like immediate savior and like one size fits all solution that people think she is, though. So better than probably the naysayers ever would have imagined, and worse than the like Glazers think. But okay, chat good on that one, because I know you guys are asking about the other stuff there. But yeah, that's. Well, hold on. Let's see. What else do I have left? Still need to have an attribute. No. And female a little bit there too. Chat said the Valks. Didn't Cuckoo sucker punch Tlaloc into next century? Yeah, but I've always disliked comparing 5 stars to 4 stars. If you want to compare a 4-star to a 5-star, that is to say, compare upward, I don't think that's crazy, because that's usually only going to happen in a case of a 4-star being an outlier. But if you're going to compare a 5-star to a 4-star, that's just like picking on a lesser rarity, right? That's like me sitting there saying like, oh, you know what? Jason could really use a buff because of just how strong Muramasa is. And it's like, well, yeah, obviously. You're comparing a 5-star to a 1-star. Like, of course. But then you have to look at like, what is the dev's intent? And obviously their intent is not to make a 1-star competitive with a 5-star. Doesn't mean it hasn't happened. Cough, cough, a rash. Try XE. Well, that'll only be the one, right? Like, I'll probably need Sky enemies in bulk. Oh yeah, I mean, I get it's 5 AP. I think this... Okay, I was gonna say, I think this was back when I was having to do the missions. I could probably get away with it. For females, you can always go to Okeanos. I'm less worried about females and more about Sky. So chat, can you find me an intersection of Sky and female? Why am I buffing? I don't know, chat. Why am I buffing? Oh, right. Medusa's Earth. Yep. She is female, though, so that's why I just went into the node, just to do something until chat finds a better node. Since you know Asaka Hime is 5 stars and hasn't done something of note. No, but I mean, I'll be frank with you. I actually do feel like Osaka Hime is one of the worser like 5 stars. It's not that you can't use her effectively, it's that she doesn't really have a niche. And then I see people always like, if I bring this up, like there's somebody usually that comes out of the woodwork and they go like, what do you mean, Cad? I've seen like blank solo happen with Osaka Hime, and I'm like, yes, that is actually currently where Osaka Hime is strongest, is in a solo environment. Everything else, not really. So it's like, she is just a really, really like poor man's third support. LB2 Icebridge. Okay. Have I watched Symphogear? I've never watched Symphogear. Although I believe some of my friends have. Wait, right. My brain is trying to remember where this stuff all is. Been a hot second since I've come in here. You guys said something bridge. Pushing buttons is fun indeed. Ice bridge. Castle of Snow and Ice? Okay, yeah, I was gonna say. It's like, it's the only place I can imagine a bridge. Cat, you ready to get ads in your Samsung fridge? No, but I did post that the other day. I saw that shit. It's like, imagine being so stupidly out of touch as like a marketing department or something like that, that you go, I know, even though no other fridge does this, let's now, from now on, start running ads on our fridges. Okay. I'll tell you how this will go. If I was looking to buy a Samsung fridge, I'm no longer looking to buy one. I will buy a different brand. If I am somebody that already owns a Samsung fridge and an update happens that starts doing it, I am looking to get rid of my fridge. That is how astronomically stupid that decision is. I don't know what they expect to happen a little bit. Hack the fridge and play Doom on it. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, okay, guys, that was one of the takes of all time, and you picked the worst one. Prom Tower of Zanten? That might be better. I'd be down for that. NSFW ads, here you go. Can you imagine, like, little Timmy is going to go get his, like, orange juice out of the fridge and instead sees, like, an advertisement for, like, Nikkei or some shit on there? Or, like, Magnum XL condoms? Tinder, yeah. Good job, Timmy. I don't know why, but ever since this afternoon, Timmy's just been standing there in front of the refrigerator. He's not moving. I think something's wrong with him. Or the hub. Well, the hub doesn't advertise, right? They also now show ads on a screen in cars. Just seen it in a vid has been watched today. Okay, that's the exact same issue as the Samsung one. You have 50 gajillion car types to pick from. Why would you ever buy a car that's going to play ads for you? Like, chat, I just got a BMW. If they were to do an update that made the car screen start playing ads, I would turn back around. I would tell them two things. I'd tell them, you are going to give me the trade-in value for this. You are going to cancel the lease as a result because you did not put this in the lease. This is not what I agreed to. We're done. So it's like, it is one of the stupidest things that I can imagine somebody doing. It's like, hey, we have a perfectly viable product. Now for a couple of extra schmeckles, we are going to, like, just absolutely shit our brand down the toilet. Go for it. Fuck around. Find out. Oh yeah, distracting drivers, genius. Yeah, I mean, let's not even talk about the safety concerns there, right? So that does not show that they are viable. Tells me they're not heaven attribute. Yep, I've been swindled. Whenever I see heaven, I usually just do hands. You think I want to throw hands like that? I don't really want the homunculus babies. Problem is, I don't think any of the servant classes are actually sky attribute. No, no, that was something, but what was it? Probably not enough there. It's just probably the one or two. F it. Chat has a point. Hold on, chat. I'm gonna think about this. Archer, Rider, Assassin are three. Doesn't matter who I take. I don't have them either way. Snatched Reigns in one multi? Nice. Should the QP note on Bleached Earth? I mean, that's fine. I don't particularly need QP, so it be what it be. Chat, behold laziness. What's up, Tesla? How's it going? Paying my new lurker tax? Thank you. Yeah, for anyone that has come in after stream here, we were talking about it earlier, but I guess like Twitch has actually implemented something where lurkers don't count towards a view count unless they say something in chat at least once, which is stupid. So I've told people before, it's like, I don't mind you guys lurking, feel free to, but if you want to help me out, just like when you first arrive at the stream, maybe just like type something in the chat. Because it's just actually like stupid. What? That's ridiculous, yeah. Emotes count? Yeah, I mean, I would assume emotes do. Words, thank you. Appreciate it. Really? Why can't I lurk in peace? I don't know. It's just, it is a change I have known about. They implemented it about a month ago, but I guess like it's actually the dominant thing impacting view numbers, which is stupid. So I'll try to remind you guys over the course of the week here, but yeah, just do me that favor if you guys want to help. It's like, I don't want to like overburden the lurkers because I understand it's like you guys are just trying to like support basically and like chill in the background. So it's like I'm not gonna sit there saying like, oh, you have to talk every like blah blah blah. It's like, I don't know, just say something when you come in. That's literally just the best I can hope for. Classic Twitch being dumb. Yeah, it was a change that was meant to catch the view botters, but it's basically they made it where it's like, oh, if you never type in the chat, you are considered a bot, which therefore punishes every lurker. Meanwhile, chat bots actually can be set up to just say like a tchotchke message. So like it doesn't actually catch view botters. It only catches lurkers. And I'm like, it's so stupid, dude. And thank you guys. I do appreciate it. Can't lurk in peace. I know. It's fine. Like, if you guys don't remember too, it's not the end of the world. It's just one of those things where I actually do think that's why like my numbers have been down. I think it's why like Twitch numbers as a whole are just down across the board. And it's just actually stupid. Bot say hi then LOL every 15 minutes. Yeah, pretty much. Future stream chats. Yeah, if you want to go like beep boop or like do the robot emoji or something like that, that also works. That lets us know that you are in fact a machine. Lurker here, and I'll be back to lurk. It's all good. Like I said, I'm appreciative that you guys take the time out of your day to like even come here and lurk. So as far as I'm concerned, it's your way of supporting. And I appreciate it regardless of whatever stupid ass change Twitch makes. That's really all I can hope for at that point, is that basically you guys actually will like say something in chat. But like, if Twitch keeps making stupid changes like this, they're just gonna kill the platform, because like it doesn't help them. Like I was explaining before, it's like literally just going to make things worse on their end. This is discrimination against all lurker kind. Yeah, I like I said, I don't really know why they did it. Just actually dumb of them. Is that some weird passive way to keep 100% of the ad revenue towards lurkers if they aren't counting them as viewers? I don't know, because like I was saying before, it is weird because I have noticed like fluctuations that are obviously, it's not like people leaving and coming back to the stream in swaths. It is, what's happening is, oh, your numbers are dipping by like a third of your total. Why? Because an ad is playing. So I know that's what the case is. Why don't they actually count towards a view if they're watching an ad? Like, that's actually kind of wild when you think about that. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I was gonna say, how full is my mailbox? Still getting octuplets. Is this a Digimon song? It's not. Okay. I figured someone was gonna put like something from the new Digimon game in, so I thought that's what it would be, but it's not at all. Feels like a decision made by AI. Oh, you mean like the decision itself, or like the flagging of like lurkers and stuff? I'm sure it is handled by AI. Who made the decision though? That I don't know. This is getting worse and worse every day. You say that, but I will give them credit where credit is due. They at least put in the stream rewind feature. That was something we have been asking for years, and I know it's locked to sub only, okay? But you know how Twitch works, chat. Give it like 2 or 3 years and it'll be available to everybody eventually. But like literally they locked it to sub only, but at least they gave it to us. Because that's been a widely requested feature, and I've been really surprised that like it took them as long as it did. Like I was at the point where I was just thinking they're not ever going to do anything like that. That's not going to be a thing. And then they did. Randomly. They like shadow dropped it on us. We had no idea that's what was coming. So, case in point, chat, demonstration. Let's go ahead and do that too. Do you think I should consider getting an NP2 copy of Reigns or Shisho? Reigns, you probably don't need the NP2 copy of. Shisho is definitely better with an NP2. That's up to you. I can see executives just asking ChatGPT how to increase engagement. I really hope people don't make actual decisions based off of that. I think it's one thing to like consult ChatGPT maybe for like some stats or something. I think it's another thing to be like, hey, ChatGPT, should I do this? It's like at that point, chat, you're just shaking the magic 8-ball, because they've already proven that ChatGPT will have like enforcement bias where it's like, oh, depending on how you ask the question, ChatGPT will seek to give you a favorable answer, one that it thinks you will like. Not necessarily a good thing. Like, for instance, I think I saw this the other day, but it's like, I think somebody basically died or was hospitalized due to the fact that they were asking for a replacement for salt. The person was obviously meaning cooking. ChatGPT didn't know that, and so therefore, because of the way they asked the question, it gave them a chemical substitute for salt. They put it in their food, and I don't remember if they died or not, but I do know they went to the hospital. It's like, not smart. Don't make big decisions by relying on the chat bot. It makes up numbers. I haven't seen ChatGPT make up a number, but that doesn't mean that like the studies and stuff that it's citing are not like inappropriate or faulty in some way. I think there's always the room for like human error and stuff like that. That's, you know, to a degree, that's why you have to have a like open and objective mind. Like you have to sit there and go like, okay, does this actually make sense, or am I being fed a load of BS? I think I would trust a Magic 8 Ball before Chat GPT. Has anybody in chat ever seen the show Review? It is a comedy show about a guy that goes and reviews life experiences so that other people don't have to. So like one of them is, hey, what is it like to have every decision of your day made by a Magic 8 Ball? So somebody asks him that and he has to do it for the show. And it's actually hilarious because what he does, he's like, well, I can't let people see the Magic 8 Ball. So he gets like a fanny pack and he just like puts it there in front of him, right? And in doing so, he sticks the 8 Ball in the fanny pack, but he has to shake the 8 Ball to get the response. So he basically, like, everybody else looks at him, and it's not like a real thing, right? Like, it is just a like pre-written like comedy show, right? So he looks down at his fanny pack and like he'll ask it in a question. It looks like he's asking his crotch a question, and then he shakes the 8 Ball and it looks like he's jerking off every time. So he's like, should I cross the street? And he like starts doing it and everyone's like and it gets even more hilarious too, because like there's a point where he's in like a back alley and it looks like he's jerking off in the back alley. I think there's one where like because of the events of the show, his wife calls and it was like his opportunity to get back together with her because he had actually like divorced her for the show. Because it was like, what's it like to get a divorce? So he had to actually go do it. Which if I remember correctly, he didn't originally. But just the fact that he was considering doing it made his wife divorce him. Because he was like sitting there talking with, he's like, I don't know. He's like, I feel like I got to do this. We could just get remarried right after. And she was having none of it. So she was like, no, I'm done. And then later on, that episode occurs and he is like, she calls him. And I forget what it is, but it's like she's trying to ask him, like, would he want to do something? And like, it is his in. And he has to ask the Magic 8 Ball how to respond, and the Magic 8 Ball says no. And then he's like, no, god damn it. And she hangs up on him, and he's like, can I call her back? And the Magic 8 Ball says no again. So he has to keep sticking to the bit, and he can't, like, go through with it. So it ends up, like everything he does ends up wrecking his relationship. It's kind of hilarious. Like, it shouldn't be, but it's one of those where it's like, obviously nobody should ever go to this extreme. But he goes to the extreme for the show. I think my favorite episode of that show, though, was, there is an episode where it's like, what's it like to like, be a cult leader? And he has to go found a cult and become its leader. And he successfully does so. And it is so hilarious because he ends up getting kicked out of his own cult. And then I think it's like, what's it like to, like, I don't remember what the other thing is, but it's like, what's it like to, like, either get, like, a fake tan or something, or, like, I think it's, like, to like, pretend you're getting back into shape or something like that. So, like, he goes out and he gets, like, a spray tan. He gets, like, fake muscles. He starts taking steroids and shit like that. And he does, like, all this stuff. And it's hilarious because this entire time, the cult is still, like, camping out, like, in his, like, front yard. So, like, he's still, like, going about his business because it's his house. But in the end, all this crazy stuff ends up happening. And, like, I think, like, the ATF ends up raiding the freaking, like cult camp. And, like, shit's going off everywhere, and he's like running in slow motion. He's like, ugh! He basically looks like Arnold the whole time that it's going on. It looks hilarious, and it's definitely a show worth watching in that regard. I was so upset that they never did a season 2 for it. ATF hope he didn't have a dog. You joke, but I think that is actually something that's in there. is known to just make up court cases. Lawyers have been formally disciplined and charged by the court for doing so. That's kind of hilarious. I remember when he reviewed being racist. Oh god, no. I forgot about that episode. There's a lot of like hilarious episodes in there because it basically is just such a good concept for a show. And it is one of the better kept secrets. What was the name of the show? The name of the show is Review. So it's a hard one to find, but it was on Comedy Central for a while. Hold on, chat. I'm gonna go find it now. Yeah, the only problem is like basically being able to find a copy of it to watch, but it is actually a hilarious show. I had a blast watching it. And like I said, I was super upset when they did not renew it for a second season. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This show is amazing. This is easily like the funniest thing that I had seen Comedy Central put out in a long time. But it is what it is. There is a season 3, FYI, Paramount Plus. Wait, what? There are 3 seasons? Hold on. Okay, I've definitely seen the second season because that's where the cult episode is. Oh, the third season only has 3 episodes. So it must have gotten canceled at some point. Yeah, the cult episode is he has to join a cult and what is it like to have a perfect body? So he has to do all these things because he can't actually have a perfect body. That's why he gets like the fake tan and stuff. Three seasons, 22 episodes, yeah. Yeah, it's like I wish there were more of it. It really was a great concept for a show. Hold on, chat. I'm trying to look up one thing on the side. The D&D thing. Yeah, it wasn't the Big B presents Glory of the Giants. Isn't that the new book for D&D? Do we have an advanced quest for LB6 bells? Not as far as I know. When was the last advanced quest in JP? I think it's been like a year. It's been a hot second since we've gotten any. But yeah, anyways. Just trying to check to make sure I didn't miss anything the chat said there. Let me do my story roll here, and then we need to do these 5 AP quests. Which, chat, as far as I know, these 5 AP quests don't have like anything actually to them, right? Like, I assume they're just pseudo challenges, but they're not like I don't know if it has like actual like material drops, but either way, I don't really have materials. Oh, ooh, an Asclepius copy, not bad. Let's see if I have NP5 of him on JP. Wait, hold on. That's wrong. Wrong interface. Still wrong interface. There we go. Oh my god, that is the 5th copy of Asclepius. Nice. Rare ass clap, yep. Yeah, that's why, like, I was saying, I think the like story pulls are gonna be really good for things like him and like Bedivere and like other just rare, hard to get units that you're maybe not expecting. Oh, am I forced into the Shinsengumi Mystic Code? Okay. Still a bunch of advanced quests on an A that I haven't been able to clear, which in a diorama for a start. Most of the advanced quests I don't have too hard of a time with, but they are definitely gimmicky fights, and sometimes I've like beaten them by just brute forcing them. So I'm not going to say that there isn't a way to solve them, just that sometimes that is actually the easier option, and not everybody has that option. So I'm not surprised to hear that people do struggle with them from time to time. I think that's fine. I wouldn't get like too bent out of shape about it either. But yeah, right now. Hey, Zelfer, thank you for the 56. Appreciate it, my man. Thank you for the lurk as well. Yeah, can we get some love for Zelfer? Doge cam. Doges are there. Well, actually, the camera's a little zoomed in, I feel like. Technically, they have their ball right there. I think that's Nico up against the side there. What he's doing. I have barely touched this event Mystic Code, hilariously enough. What am I gonna do about MHX? Is what it is. I pretty much gotta wait for her to have a banner, unless does she already have one right now, chat? Shouldn't. Banner is up. Impromptu roll stream go. Let's see. Have I bought my monthly stuff? No, I have not. You can do it. Thank you. I hope so. Oh, I probably shouldn't have gone this way around. Okay. Went the long way. See, in a weird way, I'm still with the new player like rolling mentality. So I saw that and I got excited for a second, and then I realized it's like this account doesn't care. I hope he can. He has pity to get her. I do have pity right now. So getting her isn't the problem. The question is how much do I have to spend to get her? You could also use the button on the right of the banner. I could. It is really small for my fingers, so I usually don't. Like, I think it's the only downside to the way they've laid out the interface, and it is one of my primary complaints about FGO stuff. It sometimes makes the button extremely small. Oh, what? Impromptu MHX? Yes. And the hope is going to be that we can get her easily. I'm actually surprised that I have very few tickets, but still have this amount of courts. Usually, if I have that amount of courts, it means I've been saving well, so I should also have a fair amount of tickets, but I guess they just have not really given out tickets very often here of late. Makes me wonder if they're getting stingier with them. So chat, just I guess while we roll here, we can talk. I obviously am rolling another MHX here. I think I need at least one copy. We'll have to see if I need more. But it's mostly for like coin related issues. Because I need to be able to get her to 120. And I still want to get her to Bond 10 as well. She's still in progress on that. I think she's coming up on Bond 9. But yeah, it is going to be an issue of like trying to get her to the cap. Yeah, I will. I'm kind of leaving them there right now because like usually if I have to like buy everything out of the shop, then I have to like sort through it a little bit, and I don't want to like bog chat down with that because I'll already probably have to sort this out on the back end of the rolls. Having that issue with Draco right now, yeah. I totally understand. But yeah, that's why we're doing it, so that because she is the person I want to be my 120 assassin. After that, I think we're pretty much good. I don't think I'll have any issues with the caster or the archer grand. Other than like maybe in the actual node. Although I will admit, it's kind of weird that we still have to do assassin, caster, and archer. And it makes like it makes it really weird thinking like, how are they going to fit all this in? If you don't have an append, then it's just bond 10. Yeah, I don't believe I do. I'd have to double check. Oh my god, MHX, yes. New Year unit is probably going to be another strange fake for the anime launch and stuff. I don't know about that. I could see the New Year unit being somebody involved with the ending of the story. I would almost bet my bottom dollar on it. And that does make me wonder if that's maybe why they did the strange fake stuff this past year, even though they knew it was not going to be a thing. But I will not be at all surprised to see it be somebody involved with the quote-unquote Part 2 finale. Because I think they will probably really want to, like, push that and capitalize on it, if it makes any sense. Katana, thank you for the resub. Appreciate it. How are you doing? How's your day been? We went from Guda Guda to rolls. Yep. The chat convinced me. Chat twisted my arm. They told me I had to roll. Damn it. No. That would have been so nice just to get out in tickets. That would have been so nice. So nice just to get out in tickets. Oh, I could have kept pity. It knows what it's doing. This isn't the new player? No, this is my JP account actually rolling. That CAD punishment for lying like a liar? What do you mean? I was being facetious. Oh, really? I didn't realize that was the feat. Okay. Hmm. So, actually nothing. They're almost a complete mineral. We technically got one extra C. MHX is a saber face, no arm twisting required. You just wanted to. Oh, 100%. Not even gonna lie. So by the way, chat. This weekend I tried to sear a steak, which I have not done with my new stove. So it's been a hot second since I've tried to sear a steak. And I used olive oil in it, and I got the pan real hot, and I added the olive oil, and the olive oil just combusted. So I had the full blown like fire going on in my pan. I was like, oh shit. Did it flash a bit? It did not flash. It was still going. It set off my smoke alarms. I don't think oil is a high enough smoke point one. Yeah, it's not. I just I like cooking with olive oil whenever I can get away with it because it is just the healthiest option. But I was like, okay, maybe let's not try that. No, I didn't ruin the steak. The steak was fine. Technically, I did overcook the steak later, but that was what that was. I just actually ate the last leftovers of it. It was still pretty good. I was aiming for medium, and I hit well instead. But the flavor was still there, so that's really all that mattered. Olive oil has such a low smoke point, it does. Did I not know the heat rate of olive oil? No, I did. I find it hilarious how much chat is armchair cooking right here. I did know that olive oil that could happen to it. I didn't know how hot my stove could get. That was a first. And I'm used to my old stove. My old stove did not have that kind of heating capacity. And so doing that, I was like, oh, because it basically just was like sudden. Like it was, I basically added the oil to the pan and it slid down the side and then immediately lit up. The second it hit the bottom of the pan, it was like, boom. I was like, oh, shit. Height could be a big difference on two stoves. Oh, it absolutely was. That's basically the reason I had to get rid of my old stove, was because it just was not good at heating. It could not do low temperatures, nor could it do high temperatures well. It could only do like a middle temperature and never like what you wanted it to be. Like, for instance, the last time I tried to make beef stew before this current time beef stew turned out great. The prior time I had tried to do it on my old stove, and that's why I hadn't made beef stew in so long, is because I basically burnt it. Not like lit it up in flames, but like literally just it overcooked way too fast because of my stove. You're supposed to basically simmer the beef stew for a long time, and I couldn't. Like I literally went to check it after like a half hour and it was already like burnt crisps. And I was like, what the heck, dude? Because I was like, that was on the lowest setting. It's just that stovetop, that old stovetop was just crap. So I replaced it about 2 years ago, and I have not, like I said, I hadn't done a lot of cooking since then. So getting back into cooking has been interesting in that regard. Best beef stew is using the pressure cooker option on it in an Instapot. No, disagree. But the only reason I disagree is because I have an ancient Czechoslovakian recipe. Like, for the vast majority of people, you're probably right. I have an old recipe for like how to make it, and it's good. But it is definitely a lot of work. It's very simple ingredients, but definitely a lot of work. And in that regard, it turns out very nice. It's very tender, has the perfect flavor. And that's I think what I was surprised by even is like, I don't think I've ever made my beef stew that good before. I'm a crockpot person. I'm probably going to be making crockpot stuff tomorrow. I have a recipe that I want to try out for teriyaki pineapple pork tenderloin in the crock pot. So it's basically like pork teriyaki. And I was like, oh dude, it looks so good. Double-sided. This game will never not be evil for putting low stars of the same class on a high star banner. L-Dubs, thank you for the resub, man. Appreciate it. How you doing today? It's a speed thing? Yeah, but you don't want the speed in this case. I have a crock pot that's older than I am that I've been using for years. That's fine. Not even a rate up? It is what it is. You got me. Let's go. Yeah, normally, like I should probably be excited for that, but not in the case of I'm aiming for the 5-star and only the 5-star. The 4 stars are probably rare prisms on this banner because I have a lot of assassins on JP of lower rarity. Who is the 4-star on this banner? I actually haven't really looked. We'll see it. I guess I can back out when the roll is finished. That it may be Carmilla. Why would you say that, Ahado? Game when it comes to gotcha can really hurt at times. Yeah, that has always been FGO's actual deficiency. Whenever somebody complains about the gotcha in FGO, you really can't fault them. And so there you go. It's Carmella. As opposed to, like, I see people complain about the most, like, mundane, trivial, like, BS that doesn't matter. Oh, Shaman King. Okay. I started trying to watch Shaman King, and I could not stand the sidekick character. It legitimately made me quit the show. Because I was like, I'm sorry, like, this character is literally ruining every scene he's in. Why is this opening song so good it has no right to be? Oh, there you go. I tried the reboot only for the same reason. Yeah. Couldn't stand Shaman King, but I just really like it. No, I know of plenty of people that really like the show, and that's why I wanted to give it a shot. But I was just like, I had to ask my friends. I was like, is this character like here to stay, or is he ever gonna go away? And they're like, no, he's there all the time. And I was like, all right, I'm done. I was like, holy shit, I can't stand this guy. It's like the equivalent of, like, you guys remember how, like, some people don't like Naruto because he just, like, screams all the time? Very similar thing. Like nails on a chalkboard with that character. But it's like, I guess I make no judgment as on the show overall. Because, like, the show may still be very good. I could not get by that character. Halloween movie theme metal cover. Oh my. Believe it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm still surprised we haven't gotten the Netflix live action Naruto. Maybe Netflix actually figured something out. Still no dice. The game is fit to give me only 4-star Cs. Sometimes one annoying character can just kill a show. It's funny because that had never really happened to me before. Like, I've been able to watch several other annoying characters. I guess it was just like that unique cocktail. Just like I said, it was like nails on a chalkboard for me. I was like, oh no. Because, like, I've watched, I've obviously watched original Naruto. I've watched Black Clover, where, like, Asta's kind of very similar to how Naruto is at first. So it's like, I've been able to get through other shows with annoying characters or protagonists, and it hasn't really bothered me before. But that one, I don't know why it did. But will live Naruto be better than live Cowboy Bebop? No. No, it would have to be worse. Because, like, I can imagine it where, like, it would get so bad that the like, English-speaking VAs and stuff, like, actors would just call out, like, the Americanized version of Japanese words. It'd be like Cage Bushin no Jutsu. Black Clover is the one show that feels like the failure golden child, where they wanted it to be the next big manga but never hit that level. It's not the only one like that. I know of a couple of others that also, like, you could tell they wanted it to be the next big thing, but it didn't have the exposure for it. to be fair, there is a commonality amongst most of the like really big like shonen anime, and it's usually a protagonist that everybody gets along with, and there's a lot of fighting. That is usually the answer. So it's like everybody likes the protagonist for one reason or another. Even as like annoying as like original Naruto could get, I think the supporting cast was strong, and at least people empathized with Naruto. And Rayless, thank you for the resub. Appreciate it, my dude. How you doing? My Hero Academy is the last season. Yeah, Creamy was telling me that. I like My Hero Academy is another one that I kind of like stopped watching and fell off on, but I probably should pick it back up if it's actually ending. I was getting shit from the girlfriend for not finishing whatchamacallit, Demon Slayer. Because like the Demon Slayer movie's out, it's doing really good, and I was just like, well, I'm not up to date on it. Because I stopped back in the entertainment district arc because they were just like absolutely dragging it out, and I was like, nah, this is good. I'm gonna let this show build up. Now you're better off not, really? I thought My Hero Academy was good. I'm tempted to watch the Halo movie on Netflix. If it's live action, don't. If it's like animated, you might be fine. Lim, thank you for the follow. Welcome. After entertainment is even more drawn out. Yes. And that's kind of what I had heard. So I was just like, I had, not that I hated Demon Slayer, but I saw what happened with Attack on Titan, and I saw all of the signs of that happening again with Demon Slayer, and I was like, nope. 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 Because, like, in actuality, chat, the entire entertainment district arc happens in, like, one night, and the vast majority of episodes happen in the span of, like, 1 minute's time. It's actually kind of stupid. It's not called Mid-Hero for no reason. I mean, I've never heard it called that, but... terrible quality anime, which I was like, man, this is so dirty. I mean, at least the like style of it seemed unique. Like, I wouldn't say the anime looked awful, but yeah, I can't relate because I never watched or never read the manga, right? Live action Halo show is a megalol. Yeah. I saw the Demon Slayer movie in 4DX and it was a blast. Everyone I've heard that's watched the Demon Slayer movie has good things to say about it. And I think that shows, right? I think it was earlier today, it is now the 5th highest grossing movie of the year. So it has passed like Superman and Fantastic Four. So it is up there now as one of the highest grossing. It will not, I don't think it will pass, like it might pass like maybe one more, but it's not going to pass the top 4. To be fair, can't get worse than Dressrosa. I've heard that, like, isn't Wano longer than Dressrosa? Not that, like, I'm sure Wano is better in terms of, like, enjoyment factor, but, like, God, yeah. Dressrosa was rough. And Dressrosa is basically where I took a break because it was, like, 2 years that you didn't even get to see the, like, other half of the crew. And I was like, this is just ass, dude. Like in the end, Dressrosa was pretty epic, but like it took so long to get to that point. What about the Ant arc from Hunter x Hunter? I hate the Ant arc from Hunter x Hunter, actually. And I've heard people like get really upset at me over that, but I do not like that arc. At least it's a fun trash anime to watch. Whole Cake is a slog and way worse. Whole Cake is what I'm currently watching, so I gotta catch back up on One Piece. I have been trying to convince the GF to watch it. Because, like many other people, she has not been able to get through like the first couple episodes, and I totally understand. I get how that happens to people, and I've tried to tell people before. It's like if you can get through like the first like 30 to 50 episodes, you're probably good, because at that point the main core of the crew is together, and it's finally like the show is beginning to work. Whereas like before that point, it is very singular in its focus. How dare you? See, there you go. Just read the manga up to Wano and Switch. I mean, with it all being out, I can watch it. Like, the problem that I had with Dressrosa is when I watched Dressrosa, it was currently airing. And it was awful. Like I said, it was good in the end, but like the experience of having to go week to week on it convinced me not to do that ever again. So now I like the stance I've taken with One Piece, and I've definitely not followed through on this entirely, but the stance I've taken is that it is better for me to watch in arcs and then basically just say like, okay, I've completed that arc. Now if there's not a new arc, I'm not going to start the next one. Like, basically, it's not worth doing until the next arc is complete. I think they're doing a remake to condense the first 100 episodes. Yeah, and they should. I don't think anything bad can come of that unless they just mess it up. I think Dressrosa took over 2 years IRL time. It did. That live action on Netflix is a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to more of that. Yeah, it like the live action's good. I've told people before, it's like if you're unsure about One Piece, go watch the live action. It is at least a good, yes. I was gonna say it is at least a good enough like adaptation that it will give you a nice like TLDR of the opening with some subtle changes. Yeah, so it still cost me about a third of the way to pity. Pretty much on average for that. Maybe a little bit over average considering we used the tickets, but I will take it. Okay, so that gets her in P3. Let's see how my coins look. She is still only at 160. I'm very close to rank 9. Actually, that may be enough because I am at 110. Well, sorry, I'm technically at 112, so I need 114, 116, 118, and 120. And so I basically end up needing 4 more grails, which is 30 coins each. So I needed 120. So there you go. That should do it. Yeah, Bleach is its own problem. Damn, I missed 15 minutes and you got her already? We just got her. Bleach is a like masterclass of how not to handle an author, I feel like. And because of that, we ended up with some very stupid stuff. Like, I'll be honest, I know people like the 1,000-Year Blood War arc and all that stuff, but it's like, it may have been better to just not force him to do things and to like let him take his time and write it the way he wanted to. Bleach is a masterclass in how not to handle a final villain. Yeah, I mean that too. Question mark. Berserker. Okay, chat. We need to talk. Sorry, I was gonna say I'm just looking for a Da Vinci there. To the mind scad? Yeah, I mean, I hear people bitch about QP all the time, but behold, here I am. You don't hear me complaining about having to farm QP. Oh no, also, hey, Cad. It's not you, chat, it's me. It's not you, chat, it's me. Let's talk. I started the new player account to help give you guys a idea of how to approach the game. The hope was to probably potentially take it through like LB7, get it into Ordeal Call and everything like that. So far, I have not seen really the like feedback on that I would have hoped. Instead, I'd say, and chat can tell me if this is wrong, but I don't think it is. But the general consensus is that this account is too successful. It is too stacked. It is too lucky. It is too well handled to emulate a proper new player experience. Am I wrong, chat? Okay, chat. There's your poll. So let's let you guys. The well-handled part was more or less a given. It is, but it's part of the reason that it is so robust. Because I know exactly what to prioritize and go for to make an account tick. So, like, I'm less holding that against myself and more of, like, how does chat actually feel about the account? I always show newbies how to manage an account so you couldn't say it was too well managed. I know. I started just before you, so it was great to follow along. Yeah. By the way, chat, if you hadn't realized, this is the new player account on screen. I don't think too lucky since there are now different servants for beginners as 8 years ago. Okay, so the majority of you do feel like it's very lucky. So most of you still feel like it is an authentic showing. It's just on the luckier end. And that is fine. I've tried to make the stance of I don't feel like it's actually like crazy lucky in that sense. Like it is certainly lucky, okay, obviously. But not like to such an absurd degree that one, somebody couldn't be luckier than it, or two, that another player couldn't produce similar results. Wherein am I basing this off of and coming from? I think what chat perceives as luck is less the actual luck on the rolls, because I think the pervasive idea here is the actual reason that people think this account is BS is because it's too strong. So let's ask again. Okay, there's another poll. Anonymous gifter, thank you for gifting, Jay. Appreciate it. His account doesn't have C, so it's not as strong as people say it is. Well, we'll see. I'm asking chat for their opinions, and I'm gonna tell you guys what I actually think is the case here. Personally, I would not have had the patience to do some of the stuff you did with the new player account. Yeah, I totally get that. Patience is a big thing to reward in this game. Like when you did a 5 to 6 turn on the 90 plus plus. Well, that shouldn't have been that crazy. What was crazy is that I did manage to 3 turn a 90 plus plus. I couldn't consistently do it, but the fact that I did it several times is like, okay, that's abnormal. Without the mats, they aren't super overpowered yet. Yeah. I do agree with that. Most gacha games are about resource management, so it's just people with no self-control being jealous. You are correct. 100%. A lot of the issue in any gacha game I have noticed is FOMO and willpower and the intersection of those two. People just have no capability to like say no. And I'm going to use myself as an example, chat. There have been times in my life that I have felt like I have no willpower whatsoever. Like that I am just a pushover and I have no capability to do something. And it was only like, I'd say like in the past 5 to 6 years that I feel like I really realized that if anything, I am somebody with an absurd amount of willpower. And what I was perceiving as a lack of willpower was instead my hands kind of being tied either due to social constraints or like filial obligations where I did not want to like ruffle feathers or step on toes. And that instead, my willpower was pretty absurdly strong and kind of forged in a little bit my youth and having to like repeatedly like train and do things. What do I mean? Well, let's take a look at FGO. This is going to sound like me bragging, okay? But if we look just at my history as a content creator, I've streamed FGO more than anyone else. How do I know that? I'm the most consistent FGO streamer. And I have been for years. It doesn't mean that, like, that, oh, I deserve a crown or something like that. It's like, I'm not trying to, like, toot my own horn, okay? But you don't get to be that way without not only the, like, how should I put it? Not only the time and like capability in your life to do so, but also without having some actual willpower to do it. Okay. I had the year-long stream streak where I went 369 days, giggity, without missing a stream. I basically have, I think I'm one of only like 2 streamers to successfully pull off a 24-hour stream in this directory, and I've done it twice. And that's just me as a content creator. Actually, that doesn't even include the YouTube side of things, where YouTube, I think I've released a video every single day for like 6 months. My own personal life, I felt like my life was going down the shitter here recently. So 3-4ish months ago, I started making some changes. I have a new car. I've been working out. I have, since I started weighing myself, which was not at the beginning of my weight loss journey, but since I started weighing myself, I've lost 13 pounds. Down to 255 now. I'm doing good. Sure, I'm a little bit back up right now since I've eaten dinner, but Like, I have started cooking for myself. I have changed my life in a whole bunch of other ways. I've completely cleaned my entire house, and yeah, I've gotten a girlfriend again. So some of that is not a willpower factor, but a lot of that is having the willpower to make the change, to put myself in a position to get some of these things going. And that's why I say, like, to a degree, I realize I have always had that in me. I've always had absurd levels of it to just be like, you know what? I'm doing this. And once I set my mind to it, nothing can stop me. So it has always been very weird bringing this back full circle. Because, again, like I said, I know this is sounding like I'm like showboating or something. I have always found it kind of weird seeing people struggle with it. I do get that it's a struggle, but I've always tried to coach people on, like, you have to be better. You have to, like, tell yourself no. You have to force yourself sometimes to do things you don't want to do. Why? It's a life lesson. You all have to learn that. Regardless of whether or not it's with a gacha game. Everybody has to eventually learn some form of willpower. If you don't, you won't be able to stop just fucking up your life. Just don't eat a pound of cheese, smiling, yes. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that, like, yeah, I'm always really surprised at how few people actually do have willpower, regardless of whatever game it is. And in that regard, I feel like I could go play any gacha game and I'd be successful. I could go content create for any gacha game and I'd be fine. Why don't I then? I've told you guys before, it's like I'm not really a big fan of live service model. I'm not really a big fan of gacha games in general. The only reason I play FGO is because it's Fate. So, in that regard, should I put that willpower to the test? Should I try? No. Willpower is about having the capability to do what you need to do or want to do when the time is necessary. If you're constantly pushing yourself, you will collapse. You will break. And I know that sounds absurd from some of the stuff I just listed off. It doesn't sound like I ever break. Trust me, chat, I do. There's a point where I have to go like, okay, hold on. One of the reasons I've been so successful with dieting and stuff here lately is because I'm allowing myself to cheat. Oh, those buffalo pretzel bites sound amazing right now. That ice cream that I have in the refrigerator, pretty good. The key is to be able to control it. The key is to be able to tell yourself, hey, no, you don't go all the way. Okay, so let's revisit the question that we just asked. Is the account too strong? Maybe. Why is it that strong? So if I were to ask you guys that, you would say, it's because you've rolled Castoria. You would say it's because you've rolled Castoria Berserker. You would say it's because you've rolled Proto Merlin. You would say it's because you've rolled Morgan. You would say it's because you've gotten Waver and Oberon. And you're right. Chat, I have had this new player account since May. I think it's May. It's like 3 months ish. I handpicked the units I wanted to roll on. And I was wildly successful. Did I get lucky? Yeah. but it is a testament to what can happen if you plan and stick to that plan. And yeah, like AK said, and execute it, right? Like, so no, the account is not too strong at all. If anything, there's things I could have done actually if I had been playing the game more. What do I mean? Let me show you guys, chat. Something happened this weekend that has never happened. If it will load. Thank you. I have never missed a login on any of my accounts. And I missed it on the new player account. Let me show you guys another metric. And not that that's a problem, right? Like, oh wow, most players would probably miss far more than I did. I only hold 200 saplings despite being in LB2. Why? Because they already have 738 made, and I have already used probably a good, like, 100. Why is that a factor for why this account could be stronger? Because what this should tell you guys, chat, is I'm actually only playing half the time. What does that mean? This account is half as efficient as it actually should be. So I want you guys to think about the strength of this account now and actually, like, ponder that. Because I just got my Castoria all the way to 10, 10, 10. That by then could have been Castoria, could have been Proto Merlin, could have been Oberon. It could have been at least like 2 other SSRs to 10, 10, 10. So this account could be significantly stronger than it already is. And in that regard, I have tried to tell people, like, yeah, hey, by the way, I am making blue apples. I'm not, like, constantly farming on it. So the perspective that I've tried to give you guys is that, well, yes, it is on the luckier end of results. It's not impossible to achieve. And most of what chat is perceiving as luck is instead just saving, waiting for the correct banner, and rolling within my means. What do I mean? Chat. Did I roll a Buki on this account? There were a lot of units we passed by that I didn't roll. I didn't roll Summer Shisho either. I didn't roll OG Shisho either. People are mistaking the luck for, hey, I'm just really smart about banner selection and very objectively minded. Here is the unrealistic part of that. Most of you can't do that. That's not true. Can't isn't the right word. Most of you won't do that. If you're a new player, you're not gonna sit there and be patient. You're not going to wait for the correct banner. You're gonna get baited by every hot, tempting thing the game throws your way. You have 7 years of game knowledge. Yep. So I know what the account needs. I know what the things are to hold out for. And to a degree, I just gave you guys the roadmap to do it yourself. But most people, when they first start out a game, do not have that self-control. They don't have that knowledge, and they do it. They YOLO. So that's why I've been trying to tell you guys. Like, I can't argue that the results haven't been lucky, but chat, what if instead my results were average? Let's remove luck from the picture, chat. Could I have still rolled everything that I rolled if my results were average? Yeah, and I didn't start with a start dash campaign either. So yes, this account is actually perfectly normal, chat. I've been trying to get that point across, but I think maybe now chat gets it. Now, the difference is I might be sitting on like 50 courts right now or something if I had been average result. True. But I also could have gotten a Black Grail or a K-Scope. Results could have been different in another way. It's actually not as absurd as chat thinks it is. And this is why, despite this being like the 6th account I've actually like started up and run, it doesn't seem out of the ordinary to me. Accounts get lucky in different ways. Started at one of the best times, arguably, as well? Disagree. I think it started at, objectively speaking, one of the worst possible times. Explain to me why you think it was one of the best times. If a new player account got average results, you might have missed out on 1 or 2 of the third choice type roll targets. But I think there's a point around the summer rolls where average might have been, might have tapped you out before getting Lady A or something. No, I don't think it would have. I think I would have still gotten Lady A. I might not have had enough to roll on like Castoria or Morgan in the end. I'll go so far as to say I might not have Morgan. That might be the actual difference. But I'll also tell you guys, Morgan has only factored in 1 time so far on this account. You could have done a bunch of free quests too? Yes, I could have. I could have actually had more courts. Could have also gotten further through story by this time. Summer Ibuki, Bakatoria, Castoria quite soon after it started. Lady A also. Quite soon after it started was 3 months after it started, Straw. I can't affect banner availability. That part is like always up in the air and always changing. So it's like, what would happen if you were to start right now? NA has a new exclusive banner. And we still have like a pretty patently absurd boss killer coming up. And we still have some supports coming at the end of the year. Doesn't matter when you start, chat. There's always good banners. And we're actually headed into what I would argue is an even better time period for banners. Because we are headed into a point where banners are going to become so crazily available that instead people complain that there's too much to roll on. Thanksgiving might throw support as well. Yep. But yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, I think a lot of people have some misconceptions about, like, oh, this account's too lucky. It's actually not. Oh, this account is like, it's super stacked because you've managed it like to the utmost extreme. And I'm like, no. In fact, I haven't even played half the time. Oh, you started at the perfect time. No, I didn't start with a start dash. I started like when there was, realistically speaking, no major banner active. I just started with waiver. It is what it is, chat. He rolled the good units that were on rate up, crazy stuff. Yeah, and that's the point I'm trying to make. Is, could the results be different? Yes. Could they be worse? Absolutely. Would it have been like, would it have made a difference? I'm going to be honest with you. No, not really. Because for instance, chat, instead of like utilizing my Castoria Berserker, I'd be sitting here on that instead. You hasn't used the pure prisms? I have. I've used most of my pure prisms. And thank you for the 82, Mr. Creamy. Hope you're doing good today. You just have to accept Cat has godlike powers, can control when he rolls. Kind of, right? Like, people assume your account is OP because of the units. I think it's slightly overpowered, more from your knowledge of the game versus a new player who barely knows anything. Right. That is the advantage I have. Chat, what's the motto of FGO? Knowledge is power. You see it. That is what's on screen. Knowledge is power. We can argue maybe like to Strom's point that I started at a really good time because of evocation festivals. However, this point is somewhat moot due to the fact that this is a permanent addition to the game and it will exist as time goes on. In fact, as time goes on, this will get better, not worse. This will only improve. More units will become available and you'll be able to handpick what you need. So if anything, it actually gets easier over time to do what I did. Negative reinforcements to hell drug people. Remember the times they had to hit pity and stuff. Yeah, and I totally get that. And it sucks, right? Like, I unfortunately did not get to demonstrate to chat how to handle it if you don't get the person you want. You run out of courts. What happens? You have to look glass half full. You have to say, I got what I got from that. Now what? I see a lot of people like freak out. They'll get really angry. They'll quit the game. They'll sit there and they'll be like, okay, now I have to hoard like 4,000 courts for the thing when it finally shows up 2 years from now or something like that. It's like, you really don't have to do anything like that. All of those are like very extreme reactions to it. Your best result is to just focus on whatever your next target is and just start like saving and continue to play the game. And you just try to be efficient. You try to log in every day. You try to do your dailies every day and you're good. Try to do your weeklies every week. And that's it. That's really all you have to do. Participate in events when they're active. Get yourself up to date on stories so that you can do the events. You quit and complain about it online. Yes, you quit, complain about it online, but you never actually leave the community just so you can constantly still like be salty and be a like waste of human space and energy. I didn't get Draco this year because I got a streak of unlucky rolls. It is what it is. She'll be back next year. Exactly. Yeah, that's just how you have to usually look at it. It's like the only way to assure you never get the unit is to quit. You'll never get a unit if you quit. If you don't quit, well, you'll probably eventually get the unit. Almost guaranteeably. It showed how powerful the evocation festivals are. Yep. Yep. So with that in mind, chat, the question then is begged of like, is there really a point to continuing it? Because I've been asking people this on the side for a little bit now in private. I've been mulling over it myself for a couple of weeks here. Part of the reason why, and I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna be upfront. I'm gonna be transparent with you guys. Realistically speaking, my life is changing in a good way. But because of that, there are increased demands on me. Doing something like running a third account is prohibitively tough. Prohibitively. Like, I start thinking about, like, okay, now we're going to get to, like, Christmas and stuff. How do I handle running the third account? I'm not even going to be home during that time. And, yeah, both NA and JP are already on my phone. So, how do you run a third account on an emulator? I mean, I guess I could load it on a laptop and do it from there, right? But I don't really want to. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I think running a third account is just dumb. And I feel like I've already proven just how capable this account is. Time for Cad to get an intern? What do you mean? That is literally like Avalon and Bob and everybody else that helps me. Like, I don't want to like denigrate them. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying like they are literally like people that help me out with a ton of stuff. I did all the story, got the 1K in 3 weeks, and had nothing but waiver. Used around 30 revives and just needed some welfares and some first ascensions because of Ort. Yeah, and see, like, I would tell you, like, ideally you don't have to, like, use 30 revives. Like, I don't know if you're meaning Quartz revives or you're meaning, like, something else, but if it's something else, then it's fine. If you're saying Quartz revives, I would have said, hey, maybe don't do that, slow down and figure out a solution. But who cares? It's capable. It's possible. It's not the end of the world. Are you going to hold a contest to give this account away? I don't know. That is definitely a question. I'll have to think about it. I have definitely put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into the account. I think I will continue to like play it on the side here for a little bit while I figure this out. Because I don't want to like gimp the account, right? But there are two possibilities that I'm mulling over in my head. One is to give the account away. The other is to simply keep it for alternative content capabilities. So that is to say, I would not play it regularly, but I could play it if I needed to. I'm not really sure. But I wanted to kind of talk with Chad about that because due to that, I do not think I will be continuing the journey. I will not be going through story and stuff like that here in the short term. Fair test account is a nice thing too, yeah. Trying hard content that comes from a free-to-play NP1-ish perspective. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious that neither of my accounts are that. The JP account was originally supposed to be that, and it was that for years. But then I just was like, fuck it. I was like, I want the saber faces on my JP account as well. And I started just kind of rolling. Could be good content, yeah. Like I said, I will have to think on that. I'll probably have an answer to you guys by like end of the week, but it's something that I don't want to like make a hasty decision on. But I think like in my mind I've kind of made that up. Because I also think in general that FGO, the jury on FGO is still out, but I think the community overall is transitioning away from FGO. So even I myself on one side, I love the game, going to continue to play it regardless, but I'm beginning to think about like, what does a future look like for this channel and this stream, and wherein maybe do I make some changes? So like I said, I wanted to be transparent with you guys about that. Obviously, stuff on my end is changing. And I think like, again, just being transparent here with you guys, the girlfriend is certainly a big part of it. Everything with that is for right now going good. If it continues to do so, it is entirely likely that that will affect my capability to stream to a degree. I don't wish to retire, not in any way, shape, or form. But it may become more difficult on me on certain days. I think, chat, you guys have already picked up on the fact that, like, Wednesday is basically date night for right now. I have talked with her on that front. She has the capability of moving that day, but she prefers Wednesday for a couple of reasons. So if it's really necessary, I can move it. I don't want to fight that battle until I have to. Does she know you're a streamer? Yes. Yes. She knows I'm a streamer. I don't think she has watched me. Maybe she has and I did not know. But she doesn't have any problem with the fact that I'm a streamer. We've talked about this. I think the issue that she has brought up, and I think it's a very fair concern, because she knows a lot of gamers, she knows a lot of streamers as well, and the concern that she brought up to me in like one of our first dates was like, I'm just worried that like you will be like one of those people basically that only games and just ignores the significant other. And I'm like, no, I don't think you have to worry about that with me at all. Like, I will make time. I'll pay attention. There's going to be points where it's like, yeah, maybe I'm doing something and I want to do that. But even with me in my adult life being a gamer, it's difficult for me to like sit there and just like completely like veg out on a game for like 12 hours. Like, I used to do that shit back in college all the time. Now, I mean, I have other obligations, including the dogs. So it's like, if for no other reason, I'm going to be like getting up near constantly and going and doing stuff. So it is what it is. You can ask the VIP people just how long, like, I'll be like streaming a game on the side, like before stream or like on the weekend or something when I just have some free moments. And you can ask the VIP people just how often I like get up and pause the game and go do something else. So it's like, that is not an issue. Wednesday is the new busiest days in FGO. You Kappa, but I shit you not, I was talking with Avalon about this. Both NA and JP in recent memory have slapped something on a Wednesday. And I've been like, you little bastards. So like, for instance, for the JP event, the event started on a Wednesday and the second banner came out on a Wednesday. So that was just like, oof, right? Like, it didn't make it easily able for me to cover that stuff. And to a degree, like, I just cover it late. That's all it is. I still cover it, but I just cover it late. Unfortunately, for content creative purposes, I'm going to be honest with you guys, too. This has always been an issue for the channel because I work a job, unlike some other people out there. But, like, yeah, I usually can't pump out content the fastest as other people. that's why, to a degree, I've always tried to focus a little bit more on like being thorough and trying to aim for like quality and stuff like that. Now, certainly the quality part is up for debate, I think, but it has always been my focus. Okay, because I knew it's like, well, I can't be the first person. I can't win on time, so I'm gonna instead win on doing the best that I can. Okay. NA had recently the live stream announcing the event that you guys know I've covered every live stream with you guys for years now. And it was so funny. I think I mentioned this to you guys before, but like somebody on Twitter like actually got like triggered by me saying, because I tweeted out, it's like, hey, you guys know I normally like to cover these things for you, but I can't because I have a date that night. And that person just was like, why the fuck would you need to cover it? You and your community are so stupid. And I'm just like, okay. I see how it is. But like, yeah, I understand there's going to be points where like stuff just gets in the way. All I can ask is that you guys bear with me on that front. But even then, it's like I said, the thought has occurred. I want to be as open and transparent as possible. I'm not, quote unquote, giving up on FGO or anything like that. But I think the FGO community on Twitch especially is going pretty downhill. And for those of you guys on YouTube, unfortunately, it's also true over there too. Views are way down on YouTube. So much to the degree that it's like, I'll be honest with you guys, it is not worth the effort to make the videos. It definitely, like, if we were to consider like any amount of work that me or Okayist or Avalon do on like an hourly rate, absolutely we are in the red. It is not paying for itself in the slightest. Okay. And that's, to a degree, I want to say like that's never been why I do it, but I think like the money side of things has been a thing for me for a while. I would like to make money off of it if I can. I just have always chosen to focus more on giving the content that is needed. That being said, the views used to be in the like, Aaron, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it, man. Hope you're having a good one. I've always been somebody that like has tried to do the right thing and do right by you guys. And I think like views for me used to be in the thousands to tens, if not hundreds of thousands in a couple of rare cases. So 10,000 plus was not a rare like viewership number for my videos. I am lucky to reach 1,000 views now on a video. That is not good. That's all I can say. Like I said, maybe some of that's on me. Maybe some of that is on other stuff. But I'm going to be honest, and I'll say this too. I have also noticed that several other content creators have seen what I have done and they have tried to replicate it and do it faster than me. Unfortunately, if people choose to watch those other content creators, I can't do anything about that. All I can do is create the content in the way that I'm capable of. If they choose not to watch me and to watch somebody else, it is what it is. And I do think that this is an issue with the overall enthusiasm of the FGO community. I think there are a lot of people now that like they just want the first impression, the first like video they can find on a new mechanic, on a new servant, whatever. Regardless of whether or not the video is right, there's a lot of people that just want to watch that first video and then they don't watch anything else anymore. It's sad, but it is what it is. Like I said, that's also something that is out of my control. And the only way that I could put that back into my control would either be to quit my job or to start waking up at like 4 a.m, which would affect my job. So probably not a good idea. Beta's a brand really needs a big shot in the arm right now. It does. And I like I said, I'm sure some people are going to be like, oh, CAD's like dooming and glooming. I'm really not trying to. This is just me being pragmatic. It's me being truthful. It's me like saying this is what's going on in my head behind the scenes. I love this game. I love my community within the game. I can't say I love the FGO community overall. I'm sorry, chat. It's just there have been times where that community has burnt me really bad. So But yeah, it's like it's not coming out of a place of like spite or like maliciousness or anything like that. It's just me seeing the future for what it is. So I'm personally hopeful that, you know, like we get the conclusion to part 2 and that they reveal a quote unquote part 3. If they do not reveal a part 3, I'm not going to stop playing the game. Not by any stretch of the imagination. But I'll be frank with you guys. If there is no part 3, I don't know what there is to create content on anymore. Like, that just means that there's not going to be story. That means that new unit releases and events probably become very, like, slow or repetitive. And I think in general, like, if you don't have the overall driving metric, which is story, then I think a lot of people mentally check out. And I think, like, it basically would make the content creation somehow even worse. I might go from being lucky to hit 1,000 to being lucky to hit 100 at that point, and that would not be worth at all at that point. Like, not that it wouldn't be helping people, I'm sure it would, but like the amount of people being helped for the amount of effort, it'd just be like, man, come to stream at that point, or just ask me on Discord. Like I could just answer the question faster than creating a video at that point. That seems to be the thing for mobile game guides. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of people that that hop from gacha game to gacha game, and I've told you guys, it's like, I don't want to be one of those people. So no offense, but if those people find fulfillment in doing that, more power to them. I would not. Not in the sense of like, oh, it wouldn't be good to create guides for other games, just in the sense of like, I'm not sure I would get a whole lot of playing other gacha games because I'm not sure I would care about them in the same way that I cared about FGO. But it is what it is. Being FGO NA only, I never care for that JP rush to push out the news element. Yeah. And I think that's like the large majority of like the people that still watch me are people that they care about the quality of the information. They care about like the thoroughness, and they want to support me in that regard. And I'm very grateful for those of you guys that still do watch me. I do want to say that. It's like, this isn't coming out of a like, well, screw you guys, you're not making me enough money. It's like, it's more that if the game actually does begin to wind down, I'm not going to promise that I'm going to keep making content for the game, because I don't know what I could promise at that point. Like, I don't know what there would be, right? And like I said, on the flip side, like on my personal life, things are in motion, things are changing. So in that regard, this may be good for me to do so. So like I said, I want to say this part out loud. I want to reiterate this to all of you guys. I'm trying to commit to cover FGO through the end of the year, through the conclusion of part 2 on JP. We'll see where it goes from there. But I think the new player account is a huge energy and time suck on my end. So I think we're going to scrap that. And part of the reason why is, chat, we're going to bring back things like movie nights. We're going to bring back things like react streams. We're going to bring back things like variety content during the weekdays. You guys have gotten to see a little bit of that here lately. And I realized, it's like, what is preventing that is the new player account. And the new player account is, I don't think, going very appreciated. Not that there's not new players in chat. I know there's been a lot of you guys, and a bunch of you guys have said like, oh, thank you for doing this. This is really enlightening. I learned a lot. Even some of you veterans have said that you guys learned some stuff. So it is not meant to like disenfranchise you guys in any way. It is more me realizing my capabilities and my times. And I'll be honest here with you guys too. while I am in a busy season at work, I'm not having to work extra hours right now. Come the spring, that will change. And that will put an increased load on me on top of the other stuff in my life that is changing. So, in that regard, I really don't want something like this new player account still hanging over my head by that time. I don't think I could handle it. I think I would crash and burn at that point. And to be fair, this is always how I have been in regards to running any third account. Anytime I've ever tried to pick up another game, anytime I have ever tried to run a third account on the side, it always ends this way. And I knew it would end this way. I was hoping maybe to get a little bit further with it first, but admittedly, I have not had as much time to play this on the side as I had hoped. And even when I have had some time, I have preferred to do other things, which tells me that mentally I don't really want to do this. So that is a good sign for me to stop, because it's like, my heart's not in it. Why should I continue with the new player account? It's just basically going to be a fun suck, and it's going to cause burnout with the actual game, and I don't want that to happen. So like how amazing evocation is, yeah. If FGO turns into collab slop, aka Fortnite, I would stop playing or reduce when I play. I think I would still play FGO, but like I'll be honest with you guys. Let's say there's no part 3. I think day 1 of there not being part 3, I go free to play on both accounts. I can still play. I can still do stuff. I can still react to stuff. I can still create guide content if necessary. But I go free to play, and I don't give them $1 more. And I'll be honest, I'm sure everybody else will be that way too. And the only way they would get money out of people then is if they did some sort of collab or something like that. I don't believe that will help the game at this point in time. I think like it does not matter the collab, chat. Think of whatever the best collab you can think of would be to attract people to come play FGO, and I don't think it would really help. Not in the sense of like FGO bad game or anything like that, more in the sense of like FGO is a known quantity. People have already made up their minds on this game. It is not some like new flash in the pan, freshly released gacha game or anything like that. So I think, yeah, you could get some people that had maybe like been on hiatus or had like taken a break to come and like play due to a collab, but I think that's all you're doing. You're getting people that are already in FGO's orbit. Real question though, even Arturia faces, it might have to be at that point. Like, I don't think I can infinitely spend money on a gacha game. That makes any sense. I think that would be kind of dumb of me to do so, frankly. And like I've told you guys before, I've already kind of gotten to the point where it's like, I don't really want to spend on JP if I don't have to either. JP is actually cheaper than an A right now too, which is hilarious. But I think that's just a general purpose thing. Now, I'm sure you're going to see people that are going to like double up and try to be like all in. Again, I have seen people over the years, like especially within like let's say like the past 1 or 2 years, I've seen people that have tried to claim FGO has nothing wrong with it. It's great. I don't know why people are complaining, yada, yada, yada. Chat, I love this game, but I would never say that shit. Obviously, there are issues with this game, and obviously people have reasons to complain about the game. Doesn't mean that every complaint is, like, true, but there are some pretty legitimate gripes with FGO. And I think not saying that is just being disingenuous and trying to lie and trying to, like, make people think that everything's perfectly fine and everything's okay. And it's like, if that were the case, chat, we would be bigger than Genshin Impact. We would be bigger than Wuthering Waves. We would be out there like just as the talk of the town, still dominating in every metric that we used to for like the first 5 years of the game. We are, and it's pretty obvious as to why. So yeah, I think there's a huge room for improvement with this game. I'm pretty good with being a low spend and gotcha after 10 years of spending, huh? Right, yeah. It's like, I think a little bit like we have paid our due diligence. We don't have to pay more. If FGO does stop, what would Type Moon be doing in general? Ain't like they're pumping out other products. I'm sure like they would still do things to an extent. I've called this into question before, though. It's like not even Type Moon. Type Moon still has plenty of stuff to work on. Chat, if FGO ended, what happens to La Single? Are we gonna fire the studio of like 300 people? Just gonna shutter it, close it down? I don't think that's a good thing. So, and I'll be honest, I don't think they would do that. I think they would probably repurpose La Single into something else. But that's why I'll be honest with you guys. FGO is not shutting down. I can almost guarantee it. I can guarantee you that the game continues on. The question in my mind is, in what form? That I think is the big what if, and I can't say for certain how things should go. Sony can give them the Destiny IP when they close down Bungie, yeah. But yeah, no, I don't want to like be all doom and gloom. I don't want to say like, oh, everything's coming to an end. But I think let me just quickly TLDR/summarize for you guys. In my mind, I am thinking we don't continue the new player account, and I either give it away or I keep it for side content. Similarly, because my life is changing and because we don't know what the future holds for the game, FGO content is still going to be my primary content, but I can't say that it will be that way always, and I can't promise that I'm not going to like try to work in other stuff in the meantime. So all I can ask for you guys is to be patient. If you have concerns about stuff like that, feel free to bring them up to me. Feel free to ask. I will try to address them as is. I'm not trying to like stop covering the game by any stretch of the imagination, so much as maybe it is a good idea to start scaling back, and we'll see. That's also something that I need to think about. But I wanted to be transparent with you guys to let you guys know, hey, this is where I'm at. This is where I think things are going. This is what I think could happen. This is what I expect. And I didn't want to like blindside anyone with this. Because I feel like I owe it to you guys, if nothing else, right? Like in the sense that you guys come in night after night, you support me. You guys are always really nice to me, and I thank you for that. So in that regard, the least I can do is keep you guys in the loop for what I'm thinking and what I'm planning and what I'm like expecting. FGO, there are very few must-haves going forward. I'm just a sucker for the swim banners. I think we all are, right? I feel like even if Nasu pulls out, the other writers will have been around long enough. They should be able to come up with some story to keep the game going, right? Yeah, so it's like, in that regard, I think that'll still be there. I think if we head into a part 3, if they don't like do anything new with the part 3, I think that's still me kind of taking the same stance. If they start changing up stuff with the game, I think that's my time to get right back in and like keep making like guide content, firing on all cylinders like I have been. But like I think that is a chance. I don't think that's a guarantee, unfortunately. Like, I would hope they've been privately working on part 3 behind the scenes for a while now, but we'll find out about that when we get to like Annie 11. And chat, we do know that already, by the way. There will be an Annie 11. The devs have said that. So the question is, will the game go beyond that? Will there be other stuff? That I don't know. I'm hoping they announce an FGO 2.0 update that drops alongside part 3. That would be great. That would really be great, but we'll see, right? Like, I think stuff like that's a big ask, and the devs haven't shown any capacity or capability to handle something like that. So that just kind of depends. Agreed. Can we please put a sock in Nasi's help? He really doesn't help. Yeah, I have at this point, I almost have like a love-hate relationship with Nasu because I don't like what he did to Arthurian lore in LB6. I don't like how he treats Artoria's name. And I don't like how he keeps shitting on the game and blaming it for all of his problems. That being said, I love pretty much all of the stuff that Nasu creates. So it's like, I recognize him as a truly great writer and somebody that is just absolutely amazing at world building and character development. But I don't view him as the god that some other people do. I have a very like jaded outlook on him, unfortunately. So it's like, do I think Nasu has what it takes to like make a part 3? I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think he does. Not at this point. I think mentally he is so panties in a wad about the whole thing that like he just wants to do other stuff. Now, if he gets to do the other stuff, maybe he would be. But I think therein lies the problem. I love the creation and dislike the creator. Oh yeah, I'm just saying I don't hate Nasu. Okay, like this isn't a like, oh God, it's not like a J.K. Rowling situation where people like go ape shit over her but still love Harry Potter. And to a degree, like there's a bunch of people that say like, oh, you can't like Harry Potter now, right? Like I'm definitely not somebody that believes in that sort of thing. I can definitely separate the creator from their work. But what I'm trying to say is I don't hate Nasu. I have mixed opinions on him because of some of the shit that he's done. If that Harry Potter will always be great. Yeah, I mean, I never had issue with Harry Potter. Like, it's only like in recent years where obviously she's been outspoken on a couple of issues we don't need to get into that that people have started to view her negatively. But I have noticed people have a tendency to like it's all or nothing, right? Where like people are like, oh, you either love or you hate something nowadays, and I'm like, I've never been that way. I've always been a pretty nuanced and again pragmatic person. Like I try to go back and forth on things. Yeah, let me switch gears here. I did tell you guys I was gonna play it. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm gonna get like a more permanent setup for this. I wish there was like a capture card switch. Or like even a splitter or something. He's a shit businessman for one. Yeah, I definitely think he is a little like he's a little bad when it comes to like handling the business stuff, and I think he would tell you about that as well. Okay, chat. There we go. We're not going to get a whole lot of time with Ghost here today. I'm sorry about that. We'll definitely get to play it a little bit more here upcoming. People were asking me like how I felt about this earlier. You guys can see I've progressed a little bit more. The game still largely plays like Ghost of Tsushima. So in that regard, it is definitely still good. But they've definitely made some changes. Like combat has a couple more peculiarities that I wasn't used to it having, where like enemies will very quickly surround you now. They will spam like unblockables and stuff like that. So it gets kind of okay. No, sorry. I was thinking that was the camp I was already heading to, but I don't know why I thought I was already at it. And like all of that's just like making it harder on the hard difficulty that I'm playing. So in regards to that, it's like I don't really hold it against it. I'm the one that chose to play on a harder difficulty, so that's not an issue. My issue with this game so far has been that the amount of story that I have seen has not been good. Like I said, so far I'd rate the story at like a 5 out of 10. It is just your stereotypical revenge plot, and so far I have not encountered any twist or anything of the sort. Also, in the first game, you would get flashbacks with Jin. Those flashbacks were to build his character and to show his like training arc and stuff like that, and his relationship with like his uncle and what happened to him. The flashbacks in this game are terrible. It's literally just her doing random shit as a child, and it really doesn't do anything. Like, I don't know what they were trying to accomplish with the flashbacks in this game. Got him. That's actually my longbow. I just picked that up. Ghost of Tsushima was spamming enemies too. It was, right? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that it wasn't. Oh wow, that actually did one-shot it. Okay, I didn't need a headshot after all. So that may have gotten rid of the dogs already? I've had to resort to being an assassin because early on, you just cannot take big swaths of people. Okay, I underestimated the longbow. This is my first time really using it. It is really strong. Can you loot the dog? No, I don't believe there was anything to loot. Normally it'll give you like the R2 button if there is. Stab and expectancy equals are almost always a step back. Yeah, I feel like Jin's story was way more like custom tailored to be like a excellent like story about like a lot of different themes, but all ultimately coming down to like duty and honor and stuff like that, and like the trials and tribulations that like entails. but this game is just all about revenge. But I'm not going to say the revenge doesn't make sense. More that it's just kind of bland. Whereas like with Jin's, I thought it was like, wow, this is actually one of the best like stories about like duty and honor I've ever like seen. Hoping Outer Worlds 2 is good later this month, my most hyped game. I'm not holding out a lot of hope for that one, unfortunately. I did see, I think I can get a key for it. How did this guy not see me? Okay. I don't think that was a headshot, but it gave it to me. Yeah, the longbow actually like broken in this game now. This is the like thing that I've needed this whole time. Hey Blue, thank you for the resub. How you doing? Also, just out of curiosity, has anybody else got Yote? Need Sucker Punch to remaster Infamous. Yeah. Ooh, I can loot the heavy arrow. That is nice. Did I kill everyone? I can't have killed everyone. It's got to be like a boss in there. I definitely just heard somebody. My phlebotomy final is Wednesday. Nice. Good luck. Whoever Inokichi is, I'm pretty sure he is the boss of the area that I need to kill. So even though I'm pretty much full on all my stats, chat, watch that dude just absolutely wreck me. And then I have to redo all of this over again. I definitely hear people walking. This month has stacked too many games. Which is hilarious because this was originally when Grand Theft Auto was supposed to come out before it got delayed. Okay, that's an actual dude, so I can only attempt to crit him. I can't kill him. Got him. I gotta wait to see which direction he turns. See what I mean? Dude, no! Holy shit! Holy fucking shit! What was that? I just wanted the fucking weapon! Holy crap! That is my experience with this game. And now every single enemy is respawned. Good luck storming the castle, right? I don't know how that guy didn't see me. Really? Somehow didn't alert anyone. That animation is jank. Still better archery than Horizon Zero Dawn. Got him. Okay, so we just need another throwing weapon. I just killed a player in Call of Cthulhu. They got roll up and a new one for the next session. Nice. Although isn't that like fairly common in Call of Cthulhu? Because it's like you don't win, you just do a little bit better each time. Damn, he killed that guy. What an asshole. Sorry, not you, Orange. But yeah, you don't really ever win. That's what I heard. A sake jar, but that's not gonna do shit. I guess I can snipe? It worked. Took the absolute cheap way out. I was not taking chances with him again. Because I killed everyone else first. Not cheap if the game allows for it. I mean, it's definitely cheap, but...
さしずめ、あの百姓に頼まれたんだろ。
百姓？
野菜を渡さなかった野郎だ。
何のことかわからねえが、いい男だ。遅くなってすまない。で、こいつがすきっ腹の猪吉？思ってたより超えてるな。ほら、賞金、猪吉。悪いけど夕飯はお預けだよ。
ほざいてる。蝦夷地はじき
Bullying
に
the
斎藤様が治
assassination
める。
trade. Haranui Mill. And more importantly, a shrine. So that now... Oh, yes. Now I can do brute enemies. Now I can slaughter a leader. That would also be good to get. Same thing with this. Yeah, it's like the assassination and survival trees just feel so freaking strong compared to everything else. And you just don't have enough shrines at first to like really advance. So it makes the beginning of the game really rough. I feel like the late game is going to be really easy.
夜にホタルと戯れる狐を見たことある？
ちょうども戯れるぞ。
ちょうど赤い葉の木のそばで見たんだ。後を追ったら狐の秘密を知れたかもね。
この目で確かめてみる。
あいつに出て行かれた。
Damn, they burned all their shit to the ground. I don't blame them, but... See if there's something in here now. Nope. There was a sake bottle, but it was probably empty. I don't really know what freeing these places up actually gives. I feel like it did more in the first game, but maybe I'm just not remembering. Oh, okay. Apparently I gotta go back for Danjiro. The joy of map completion? Maybe.
「命場として地図ば買い取ればって報わることのあっとでしょうか。おめえも賞金稼ぎなのか。
No, not you. Where's Danjiro? He's somewhere here. Yeah, let me know if I run by Danjiro.
ひでえ格好だ。
来やはる頃はいやと思ってました。
みんなの殺し合いばやめてくだされば、もう少し楽んかくっとですばって。三味線と刀。
Oh, there he is.
蝦夷地一の武芸者じゃないか。来い、こっちだ。
鎧を磨いてかつての輝きに戻しておいた。さあ大事に使ってくれ。
いいのか。
トンボの印は勝利だけではない、再生でもあるんだ。かつての自分に戻ることはできない。だが己を誇れるような人に生まれ変わることはできる。それに斎藤の税が切られる様を見たからな。嘘を重ねたら命が危ねえや。
ありがたくもらおう。
ではさらばだ。その面二度と見せるなよ。
Okay, don't look bad. That's the second armor set I've seen that doesn't actually look bad. To say you kind of gotta tell me what this set does. Cad, let's go looking for hot springs. You just want to see the character naked, don't you?
拝見しましょう。
Fully drawing a bow. Okay. I mean, this may actually be like meta right now for me.
「すぐ済みます。お任せあれ。
Oh no.
おおきに。
Fully upgrade everything. Now I have
また
nothing
金を
to
どいて
do
やって。
with regards to upgrading
調
stuff.
子が悪い。もう一月。
I'm not gonna equip the armor yet. Oh, chat, have you guys seen the finger flicking mini game?
遊ぶか。
やってもいいぜ。
I hate this guy. So you have to hit... Oh. What? Why are they invisible? I'm just guessing.
Yes.
There's no way I'm gonna win. I can't even see the coins. Extra hard difficulty, apparently. Oh, good. He missed. I just have to nail all of the remaining coins. Yeah, he did win. Fucking cheater.
やるな。
Wondering if it's the lighting.
一勝負するか。
よし、やろう。
I don't... game was rigged from the start, apparently. Yeah, the goal of that game is you have to flick and hit 6 coins. You can't hit 2 coins at the same time. You can't knock a coin off the table. If you do any of those things, either your turn ends or the person gets a coin.
手直しがいる鎧は
いろいろ取り揃えているよ。
ここでは静かに過ごして。
Hey, who is this? Oh, it's the Ainu guy. Well, either way, we gotta like find something so I can get some money. Because I can't bet the guy again, and even still. Let's just head over this way. I will say, while scenically I like how big and open this game is. I knew I hit that. Oh damn, that one-shot him. Longbow is really good, dude. Shortbow is really not. You wanted a hot spring, chat. There you go. My horse.
蝦夷地を駆け回ることになったが、ホムラがいてよかった。寂しい思いをせず済んだ。
Yeah, I will say I've seen far more like lighting glitches and stuff in this game. I don't know if that's because like the game is bigger and more open, but it has been a pretty consistent thing. It's not like game breaking by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a noticeable like quality issue. Okay, I get back in the water. I get out of the water. It broke the minigame? Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't feel like that was an issue in the first one, but maybe I'm not remembering. You buddy. Ah, an encampment. Good thing nobody else saw that. Damn. Never called for help. That was his mistake. He should have. Really? Guys, you don't know where I am. Don't give me this bullshit. Where did they all go? What part of down made you think that that's... God! Dude, like, see what I mean? These guys just spam shit. You're kidding me! I cannot actually get away from him. Holy shit, dude. Like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's like the game is actually just more bullshit. Huh? No fucking way! How do you super armor my hit? Okay, like, fuck off! Thank you, Jesus, dude. Yeah, the dog actually had to save me, and that should not have been a hard battle. It gets very difficult, I've noticed, to like guard repetitive spear thrusts. You can usually guard like the first one or two, but by the third one, you're fucked. The game just doesn't want to give it to you if you didn't perfect guard one of the priors. But it's like, it's actually like mauled inducing because you know you're like executing it right, and then it does that to you still. But I don't know if you guys can tell, like there's a point where you try to go like, okay, I need to disengage, and the game will not let you do it. Like the game will keep you locked in into that quote unquote duel with the other character. Wait, there is an arrow. That's the first time I've ever, like, quick slid down something. I'm not sure what caused that. I heard the timing is very exact. It really is, but it's not, like, impossible until you start getting repetitive thrusts like that. Because it almost feels like the game kind of forces you to use the slow down time abilities. Which is a thing, but it only will allow you to get it if you, like, succeed with an immediate, like, perfect time block. So it's like you have to get it on one of the first, like, ones in order to have a chance. Well, I guess there's nothing more at this camp. Surprised I couldn't, like, turn it into something, though. But okay, chat. I know we didn't get to do this long. What do you guys think about, like, another React session tomorrow or something? It's been a hot second since I've done one, and I thought might be a good idea. And I'm going to send you guys over to Miss Ivy. She's on tonight. Yeah. Or on Taco Tuesday, Pog. Yes, on Taco Tuesday. Sounds good. See if I'm up. Okay. No problem. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the support. Thank you guys for listening to my rant/talk with you guys. I appreciate it. And again, I will be back tomorrow. Go give Miss Ivy my love and have a good one.